And this is Double Shot Espresso with life coach Tasneem and Ayesha. Today's topic is purpose of life. It is an amazing, amazing topic. Because why? Because we all need to have some purpose in life, and whether we have found ours or not is a different topic. And that's what we're going to explore today. I want to start off with a quote, and that is: the purpose of life is a life of purpose. And we are going to explore the many different dimensions. Before we do that, please do download the Radio Azad iPhone or Android app so we can help you lead a life of purpose. And of course, find our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many, many other platforms. The lady with the mostest, hello.
Hello, Aisha.
How are you?
Beautiful, excellent, motivating topic to start off this Wednesday. And I think it's a basic one, but still such a deep one because it's a quintessential question, right? What is the purpose of my life? So, firstly, what is the purpose of life? And then probably to dive in deeper into finding our own purpose. They say that it is the central motivating aim of one's life, the reason that you wake up out of bed and feel like doing anything. And that would be the purpose of your life. However, I do want to add and probably raise this question as well, that do we all have a one all-encompassing purpose, or do we have sometimes figured out purposes for smaller areas of our lives? I mean, large areas of life, yes, but broken into different parts and therefore smaller. Like somebody has found out their purpose of life in their career or at their work front. Someone knows exactly their purpose of life where family and children are concerned, and probably is still disillusioned where career path is concerned. So it's a step-by-step process. I feel a very few of us are blessed and lucky to have a holistic purpose of life, which can then ripple itself into effects over all areas of our life, and we still feel very centered and aligned with our purpose.
And you've nailed it, Tasneem, because we have actually many, many different compartments, many, many different areas, like you're saying, of our life. And I think it's also important to add that we have different purposes at different times of our life. When you are growing up, according to parents, the purpose of life is to get that education. Right. And then, career, home, and so many other things. And I think a lot of housewives tend to question themselves that, अरे ठीक है, बच्चे हैं, शौहर है, घर है, लेकिन जिंदगी में और कुछ भी कोई हायर पर्पस होना चाहिए. And I think that's a real struggle, because if you are not working outside the home, then you want to do something to make a difference. How do we actually pinpoint what that is, what we are put on this earth for, and how are we going to achieve it? So I think lots of different dimensions that we're going to explore.
Absolutely. And it's so right of what you've said, that, what motivates or what becomes my purpose may not necessarily be someone else's. Like, I mean, we all have a unique purpose in that sense, that yes, of course, we know all these good values to have, which get aligned with our purpose. Like, okay, there is something like a word that you use is like make a difference. So how would you like to make a difference? You want to make a difference in someone else's life. You want to make a difference in someone else as a cause, as humanity, as environmental causes. So we all have different things that rock our boat or move our boat, but yet that purpose, which is that compelling need to actually want to sweat it out and do whatever it takes to get that stuff achieved, they say, and I really liked this one and therefore I picked it, that the definition of purpose of life is equal to G plus P plus V.
What? Are we doing physics here?
G plus P plus V. G for gifts, P for Papa, and V for Victor. G plus P plus V. So what do you think this G plus P plus V is? So G stands for your gifts.
Okay.
So your talents, your hunar, your inborn or acquired skill set, your gifts, then your passions. So something that you are innately very, very passionate about, something that just draws you towards it, whatever it may be. Like maybe in the night when you're scrolling, I think these days in the zamana of social media, which reels do you pause a little longer at? What are those things that catches your attention? Those could be your passions. Like, are you more attracted to cooking reels? I'm more attracted to poetry reels. So, those may be where your passions lie. And then V stands for your values. What are your values? What do you really put in that top 5 layer of your life in terms of how you lead your life? Is loyalty very important to you? Is trust really important to you? Is communication a really important skill or value that you live your life on? Like, I'm clear, I'm crystal clear, I'm transparent, I don't lie. So all these things combined will lead you to your purpose.
And also, that I like that equation. It's great. Also, I think there are many different euphemisms for this, like to find that purpose of life. For example, what is our reason of being? Right. That's one way of looking at it. What is the driving force behind our desires? Okay. And how do we lead a life of passion and authenticity?
Yeah.
Right. What, how, when, and how do we know?
That would be the key criteria, right? What it is, why, what is it, what,
how do we achieve it? How do we know what it is?
Yeah.
When, at which particular time, right? And then how do we know basically how to go about it?
Yeah.
How to go about the whole process.
And living a life of purpose, right? Because one is to know it and then is to implement it.
Yes, yes. I have about a gazillion questions
today. Wow. Okay, I just sent her like 4 or 5. So she has gazillion, which I'm looking forward to. Yes.
Okay. And we want to open up our phone lines as well, because this is a complex topic, but we want to make it simple. We want to make it relatable, and give you lots of food for thought. So the studio phone number is 972-501-9390. If you're watching our Facebook feed as well, you can call into the show 972-501-9390, or you can write what your question is. We're happy to answer those. So I want to ask you right off the bat, does everything have to be momentous and miraculous?
No. That would be like living in some aha moment 24/7. That would be like not possible to achieve. So just as life has to have its highs and lows, so also it has to have its momentous, miraculous moments, as well as its dull and mundane moments, regular moments. In order for you to recognize one, the other will have to be present. Otherwise, you will just be on a constant high that only Ranveer Singh can pull off, and we are not him. So, so we mere mortals will lead a life where there are many miraculous moments too, but then many amazing regular moments as well.
And I guess it's all about that balance, right?
Yeah, as in anything in life, because I think that bubble would eventually burst if you're constantly living in that adrenaline buzz, my next, and then you will need to have a balance to that.
Okay.
Now, I also wanted to ask our audiences, before we talk about how, what about my purpose of life? I just want to know your opinion on their purpose of life. Like, what is the purpose of life, basic life, yours, mine, anyone, humanity? Why do you think we are all here? And what is it that we should be living for? I mean, just why are we here as a human race? So on a broader perspective, if some of you can answer that for us as to why are we here? What is the purpose of life? Not even yours, just the purpose of life. So let me try and answer that to what I feel that is the purpose of life or humanity's purpose of life. I feel our purpose of life from the time that we are born, and to take into consideration everything that has happened before I was born, is evolution. So for me, I feel the purpose of life, or why we are here as humanity in some way or the other, is to evolve during our lifetime, because that is the only consistent thing that has happened ever since the universe has been created by the creator. So the answer to that ultimate question of what is their purpose of life, I feel that we are here to continue to live, adapt, and grow, learn and grow. And a purpose of life and our purpose, therefore, then will be to continuously evolve. Agree? Disagree? Please let me know.
Continue to evolve, to learn and to grow. Okay, we have a couple of callers. Let's take them on the air. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
दर्द दिल के वास्ते पैदा किया इंसान को, वरना इबादत के लिए कुछ कम न थे कर रो गया। जवाब इसी में है कि no, life is not all about us. We have to keep our eyes open for that to make change, because if we are blocked by other stuff or by our own life, we can't. And मकसद तो यही होता है कि भाई दूसरों को भी इंसान देखे, लेकिन अपना मकसद अभी तक समझ में मुझे भी नहीं आया है। I'm trying to figure out myself.
Okay.
और रणबीर सिंह का जहाँ तक बात है, तो उनको I think he should have his own brand of रणबीर सिंह energy booster pills or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what he takes. I want some of that.
All right, everyone. Thank you. You're not far behind. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
Good morning, Aisha ji. Good morning, Tasneem.
Hello,
Good morning.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Tasneem ji, because मेरा भी कुछ ऐसे ही सोचना है कि life is about evolving, और जैसा जैसा life सिखाती है आप उनसे lesson सीखो। अगर कहीं fail होते हो तो try another try for another chance, और नहीं तो वहां से निकल के कुछ और ट्राई करो। एंड यस, तो जो फेज लाइफ में आपको जो फेज आता है लाइफ का, तो वहां से वी ऑलवेज लर्न समथिंग। समथिंग इज लाइक समटाइम्स इज नॉट गुड, समटाइम्स इज कुछ अच्छा सीख के जाते हैं। और आई थिंक सो लाइफ का पर्पस इज लाइक जहाँ आप लोगों की हेल्प कर सकते हैं वहां पे आप हेल्प कीजिए, एंड थोड़ा हम्बल रहिए, बिकॉज गॉड ने आपको इतनी अच्छी लाइफ दी है। थोड़ा सा कंप्लेनिंग कम कीजिए, बिकॉज हर किसी की जर्नी डिफरेंट होती है। एंड और हर कोई अपनी जर्नी में कुछ ना कुछ उनके चल रहा होता है। तो जितना हम्बल रह सकते हैं, जितना लोगों के प्रति थोड़ा काइंड रह सकते हैं, मेरे ख्याल से तो लाइफ वही है। और अपनी जर्नी जिए और उसको खुश होके जिए। या समटाइम्स थोड़ा सा रहता है अप डाउन, पर दैट्स व्हाट आई लर्न फ्रॉम लाइफ। एंड और जितना लर्न कर सकते हैं लाइफ में आप लर्न करते जाइए, बिकॉज हर लाइफ का जो फेज है वो डिफरेंट है।
It's a very good, interesting point of view, Ritu. Have you found your purpose?
Yes, I found my purpose, but like I'm more towards the spiritual world. Like, so like I feel myself जो like थोड़ा सा सोशल वर्क करके और थोड़ा सा वे थोड़ा सा जहाँ पे हम लाइक कुछ हेल्प कर सकते हैं लोगों का,
मेक अ डिफरेंस।
यस, इट मेक अ डिफरेंस है ना, जहाँ पे हम और खुद, और आई थिंक तो आप खुद भी लर्न करते हो। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप साथ, बिकॉज हमें बहुत लोगों से बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है। तो दैट्स व्हाट इज इट। एंड अभी अगर कुछ और नया सीखने को मिलेगा तो फॉर श्योर है ना। अभी तक तो यही सीखा है लाइफ में, बिकॉज जैसे आप कहते हैं ना कि खुद के लिए भी आसानी पैदा कीजिए, दूसरों के लिए भी आसानी पैदा कीजिए. That's what is it. Yeah.
बिल्कुल, that's a great tagline of Azad ji. We all know
Yes.
that through his
Yes.
shows. Wonderful, Ritu. दोबारा भी आइएगा, ठीक है?
Thank you.
So what I've been hearing from you, me, and the caller,
Callers.
that making a difference to others seems to be a common theme when we are looking for our purpose in life. Who disagrees, please let me know. Call us and let us know if there's somebody who feels that no, my purpose of life or the purpose of life necessarily can also revolve around just I, me, myself.
Right.
Because most often we see that the purpose of life has something got to do with extending it outside, whether it's a skill set that you then want to share with the world, or a personality trait like kindness or being just a gentle soul or a helping nature that you want to then extend to the outside world. So it has got to do in relation with life with others. It will be very rare that you may find a purpose which is restricted to I, me, myself. But if there is a point of view of that nature, I'd love to hear it.
I think we're looking at things, if I'm processing it correctly, we're looking at it from two different points of view. One is the taking, and one is the giving.
Right.
Right? So the taking is, let me learn as much as I can. Let me grow. It's like evolution, right? And the second part of it is, how much can we give back? Right? So we're looking at it from these
two aspects.
Different aspects. Let's see what our caller has to say. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम आयशा एंड तस्नीम.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम, कैसी हैं?
मेरा पर्पस आज था कि किसी तरह से मैं कॉल करके चलो तो सारी ग्रोसरीज वगैरह सारा गाड़ी में रखी, भाग के आके मैंने कहा पहले मैं इनिशियल कॉल कर लेती हूँ. बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक है. मैं आते ही रफी ने बताया पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ पे बात कर रहे हैं. एकदम मेरे मुंह से निकला, दुनिया में हम आए हैं तो जीना ही पड़ेगा. और जीना ऐसे नहीं, अपने आप को अपलिफ्ट करके और दूसरों को अपलिफ्ट करना है, और बीइंग यूजफुल टू ह्यूमैनिटी. बचपन से मुझे याद है कि मैं अपने अब्बू और अम्मी से अक्सर पूछती थी हम लोग यहाँ क्यों आए हैं. अक्सर ये क्वेश्चन होता था, तो वो लोग कहते थे अपने आप को बेहतरीन से अल्लाह सुब्हाना ताला के रास्ते पे ले जाना, ओबे करना, और उनके तरीके से मौलाना साहब जैसे बताते थे कि यूजफुल रहो इंसानियत के लिए, अल्लाह को खुश करो ताकि तुम जन्नत जा सको. तो वो एक दूसरा पर्पस तुम्हारा अचीव होगा, स्पिरिचुअली. तो मेरा पर्पस लाइफ का हमेशा से रहा है कि अपने आप को चाहे कितने भी डाउन्स हो, अप्स हो, अपलिफ्ट करना, दूसरों की मदद करना, या माने अपने लिमिटेड तरीके से एंड इन डिफरेंट वेज बाय showing an example or being spreading kindness to humanity, being useful to humanity, and being the best I can be. So from yesterday I want to be better today, and today I will do my best and then go on. So मेरा जिंदगी का पर्पस है बेहतर से बेहतर होना. अल्लाह ने एक मकसद के लिए आपको इस दुनिया में लाया है. पूरा टाइम अच्छे से गुजारें, अच्छे इंसान, किरदार, कैरेक्टर. मैं हमेशा से चाहती थी कि लोग मुझे बोले कि तुम जेन्युइन हो, तुम ये हो, तुम्हारे वैल्यूज बहुत अच्छे हैं, और मैं अपना कैरेक्टर ऐसा बिल्ड करूं कि मैं जब अकेले में भी हूं तो खुश रहूं अपने साथ, कि मैं वो चीजें मैंने इंटेग्रिटी डेवलप की है जो मैं अकेलेपन में भी जानती हूं, मैं वही करूंगी जो मैं लोगों के सामने करती हूं. So uplifting self, others, being useful to humanity, following the path of Allah, preparing myself to go to heaven. और जब आप heaven का concept सोचते हैं, that means you want to be the best you can be in all phases and aspects of life. जैसा जीना, उसके लिहाज से ups and downs से adapt करना, और एक मेरा है continuous student of life. Continuous evolving in my own humble ways. Just want to be continuously evolving in all aspects and going on जब तक मेरा इस दुनिया में मिशन है. एंड मिशन बहुत सारे एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, इंक्लूडिंग सेल्फ, फैमिली, कम्युनिटी, वर्ल्ड एंड ऑन. तो ये था मेरा पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ, जिंदगी का मकसद. अल्लाह ने लाया है तो इसमें जीना है, अप्स एंड डाउन्स और वैल्यूज और जज्बात के साथ live to the fullest with passion, you know. ये मेरा था. जिंदगी तोहफा है. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much, ladies, for listening. And I'm so happy that I made it. This was my purpose today.
Oh, and we are so happy that you made it, despite your busy schedule.
Excellent topic, especially for the season, you know. Take care. Thank you.
Lovely, SKFG. Always a pleasure hearing from you. Okay, boliye.
Your bazillion questions में से next question पेश किया जाए.
Something that SKFG said, okay, I want to be the best in my own sphere. ठीक है, best today than I was yesterday, and then so on, and set a thing. What if you have already fulfilled your purpose? The best is behind you. How can you deal with the rest of your life if that pursuit of what you're trying to get to, okay, has already been happened? And how do you know that you've already achieved it?
Yeah, I think you reach a point where there is a stagnancy. Now that stagnancy could have come about as a result of not doing anything, but sometimes a stagnancy, obviously you will look around you and you will know कि मैंने जो भी set out किया था. That is why I feel that the importance of writing is so essential, because it is a visual check of you having achieved what you had set out to achieve. But say you haven't done that, then reflective moments with the self are so important in order to take a reflective look on what you had set out to do, how much of that has been achieved, and what is yet left to do. Now, in your question, if there is nothing else left to do, then I feel that somewhere it's not because you lack purpose. Somewhere your motivation inside, for your willpower or something else, will have gone amiss. Because if you are a healthy, thriving human being, you will automatically look for the next quest or the next purpose of life. It need not be as challenging or big or fancy as probably that is why purpose of life evolves, which we kind of said in the beginning. Like my goal probably in the 20s for the purpose of my life would have been very different from what my purpose of life is now at just 21. So I have grown by just 1 year. No, I'm kidding. In 20s, our goals are something different. In 30s, our purpose of life is different. Our 40s, our purpose of life is different, and so on and so forth. So therefore, I feel that if somebody has reached their maximum, then there's something else that is holding them back from reinventing and moving forward, because purpose of life is a continuous process.
But the biggest assumption in all this, Tasneem, is that we have defined what our purpose of life is and we have set those goals.
Yeah, so now there's a fine line between goals and purpose of life. Now, purpose of life is more, they say outer purpose of life or inner purpose of life की भी बात होती है कितनी दफा. Outer purpose of life is mainly what you want to do on the outside and how you show up for that, what you're doing in the moment. And therefore, that uski criteria ka kya hoti hai ki presence is required for you to fulfill your outer purpose of life. What it is, what you want to do, and how you do it, for which you have to show up. So presence. But inner purpose of life is more got to do with your values, your passions, your positive qualities, your strengths, all of that. Now, it is not necessary that your outer purpose therefore needs to change as per your inner purpose, or your inner purpose needs to change with your outer purpose. They need to align. Now, if they need to align and you're doing something on the outside, you have your values and your beliefs on the inside, which is your inner purpose, you'll have to ask yourself, how can I align my values with what I do on the outside? Or what I'm doing on the outside, how can I bring it closer to what I'm feeling my values are on the inside? And that's when they say you find your true purpose of life, when it's in alignment. So therefore, as you're saying, कि अगर एक चीज बाहर की चीज goals achieve हो गए, तो फिर आपके वैल्यूज तो इनर पर्पस तो है ना, तो आप फिर कुछ और सोचोगे जहां पे वो अलाइनमेंट आपके लिए पॉसिबल हो सकेगा.
Okay, let's see what our caller has to say. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
आपने जब भी सवाल किया है,
आवाज कट रही है आपकी, आवाज कट रही है.
कहीं आपने तस्नीम से जब भी सवाल किया है, प्रोफेशनली उन्होंने बड़ा अच्छा जवाब दिया है. मेरे पास भी आपके लिए एक जवाब है जो कि इन अ फनी वे बट इट इज वेरी क्लोज टू द रियलिटी. So I like to hit things with a lighter note.
Sure.
तो मैं समझती हूँ कि इट्स लाइक अ डाइजेशन. आपको भूख लगती है, आप खाना खाती हैं, राइट? फिर आपका पेट भर जाता है, तो फिर आपको शाम में दोबारा भूख लगती है ना. So it's like that, कि one project finished, that doesn't mean your whole life is done. You start the new project. तो जब आपको दोबारा भूख की अर्ज हो सकती है, so life is the same way. It never stop. It should roll. जैसे जमीन कभी रुकती नहीं ना, घूमती रहती है.
Sure.
तो इंसान की भी लाइफ ऐसी होती है कि रिवॉल्व होना जरूरी है. You never stop.
Yeah. All right, good. Thank you. Good example, Arjuman. Thank you.
A very simple way to understand that life is on a continuous roll. So therefore, I feel if you've lost purpose of life or you've achieved purpose of life, then there is something else underlining. Somewhere you will need to reflect and find, why am I feeling this lullness? Why am I feeling this no need or no desire to reinvent and start something or do something or take an interest in something?
All right, let's see. Radio Azad, you're on the air.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies. Ayesha ji or Tasneem ji, khairiyat.
Walaikum assalam. So happy to have you on the show with us today.
Yeah, thank you. And my purpose was SKF to listen to you all and answer right away. So
that purpose has been achieved.
For us to talk to you.
Thank you.
And some of the points which I have, our life is to be successful, to be a better person than yesterday. And the yardstick for it is, as far as I am concerned, is the life of our Prophet. That's a yardstick to measure how successful we are. And definitely life is a gift and we have to live with the full resilience and have a good health, achieve happiness with full of hope and celebrate our life. So celebrate our life and life of others and be a powerful soul on the move and changing according to times and bring out the best in you and be alive and bring the best memories every day.
Very nice.
So inshallah, with that, all the best and hope all our lives are successful and we achieve our purposes.
Excellent.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Rafi Sahab. Pleasure hearing from you today on the show. Radio Azad, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. You're on the air.
Hello, Ayesha ji. Hello, Tasneem.
Yes.
Yes. So life जो होती है ना वो कोई smooth बिल्कुल नहीं होती है. So it always give you bumpy roads और आपकी लाइफ में बहुत सारे challenges आते हैं. उन्हीं challenges को आप overcome करके आगे जाते हो. So that is the purpose of life also. Because it's not, आप देखिए ना कि लाइफ की जितने भी पड़ाव आते हैं वो कभी स्मूथ नहीं होते हैं. गिव यू ऑलवेज द चैलेंज. अगर एक पड़ाव आप पूरा करते हैं तो नेक्स्ट पड़ाव पे जाते हैं. तो आई थिंक सो दैट इज द जो हम लोग उन चीजों से निकल कर जाते हैं. दैट इज द पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ. इट्स नॉट कि हाँ ठीक है वो थोड़े टाइम के लिए विल फील द कंटेंट. यस यस या कि हमने ये अचीव कर लिया है एंड देन द नेक्स्ट एंड उसके बाद भी नेक्स्ट. तो जो चैलेंजेस हैं हमारी लाइफ में आई थिंक सो उन्हीं को कंप्लीट करके हम जो आगे जाना है वही पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ है.
Nicely put. Thank you. Moving forward and overcoming challenges, right?
Absolutely, because eventually I feel ki the higher purpose. You also talked about the higher purpose. So like, is there a difference between purpose and of life and higher purpose? I think your higher purpose is your holistic purpose. Like my higher purpose is to probably die one day, but die knowing that every day of my life I tried my best and I improved on a daily basis. And I did something today that will make me a better person tomorrow, and so on and so forth. A very nice activity that I had done in a training, I remember. And if someone, I mean, for our listeners who's at home, they can probably even do this. Usme kya tha ki you have to take the acronym of your name. So for example, AYESHA. And you have to write how you want to be remembered. If you're on your deathbed, Khuda na khasta, and people are looking at you, Ayesha, Tasneem, and they're looking at you and your name is the acronym for how they're going to remember you, then how will they remember you?
Shanaz ji is top notch at this.
So like T is for this, A is for this. So T is, I would like to be remembered as talented. A would be for somebody who's articulate. S for somebody who's sensitive. N for somebody who was always nurturing, so on and so forth. Now you have your rough goal in front of you based on your acronym of your name of how you'd want to be remembered when you die. Now live each day of your life like that is the way it's going to be.
Right. You talked a little bit about inner purpose, outer purpose, and all that. And many of our listeners also touched upon the spiritual aspect of it. How much do you think does faith and belief in fate guide in carrying out your finding and also carrying out your purpose?
Faith
and fate.
I agree, 10 on 10. Fate, I feel, is something which is so subjective to our deeds. So I personally, and please again call in if you think differently, I do not believe, maybe that's my belief system, that I have a set fate. I do believe in destiny. It's not like I don't, but I still also do believe in the same breath that destiny is also shaped with our deeds as we go along. So yes, there's a life plan that you're born with, but that life plan alters itself based on our good deeds, our wrong deeds, so on and so forth, because hum sab jante hain that God is all merciful and full of justice. Now, having said that, therefore, I don't think I have ever made any purpose of life in my life so far, in any stage of my life, based on fate. That kind of links it back to what you said before, momentous, miraculous moments. Kaise hoge if we are tied down thinking they already written hai, to fir kya fayda? I mean, hona tha to ab tak ho chuka hota, nahi ho raha hai, to meaning I have to accept it. So I think faith overpowers fate.
Very nice.
And the whole magic of life only is in hope, right? I feel when you talked about the people who probably have lost purpose of life, or who feel that now no other purpose of life can be as compelling as the one that I've already achieved back then, I think somewhere hope has shifted. Faith has, faith not necessarily, but that hope, that willpower, that positive outlook towards life and living could have shifted gears, which is why you feel that ab jaake kahan kuch aur karne ki ummeed hai. May as well just carry on like that.
All right. Okay. Very nice.
So how does it then, my question to the audience, and please call in and tell us, that jab कभी लाइफ में, और ऐसे आते हैं फेजेस इन लाइफ, मेरे लाइफ में तो आए थे, आई एम श्योर आपके फेज में भी आए होंगे, कि व्हेन यू डू नॉट हैव अ पर्पस, when you lack purpose, or in some phases of life, as you said, you have no purpose. Maybe achieve हो चुका इसलिए, या नहीं अचीव हुआ, बहुत कोशिशें कर ली, नहीं हुआ, अब आप हार गए कि भाई छोड़ दो, जरूरी नहीं है. Like I've shared many times कि when I was going through my relationship issue, I was like, छोड़ दो, there's no purpose in this, it's not going to happen, this part of life is not for me. What did you go through at that time, and how did you come out of it?
And that feeling of acceptance can break a person.
Yes.
Getting to that feeling.
Yep.
Right?
Definitely.
But Tasneem, also I feel that part of the personality, and as far as ambition is concerned, okay, the having, how important is it to have a realistic purpose of life? Number one. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं यहाँ बैठ के कहूँ कि मुझे तो NBC का प्रेसिडेंट बनना है, एंड आई नो आई हैव द एबिलिटी टू डू इट.
आमीन. Faith. वो आ गई faith की बात.
NBC, I can, a lot of people are saying nobody's cooperation.
But no, I get what you're saying.
So when your ambition is overtaking everything else, and you have these aspirations and ambitions that are just totally unrealistic.
Yeah.
For many reasons. So how do you deal with that?
I would deal with it with hope, faith, and aligning my inner purpose with my outer purpose. So again, it goes back over there. Now, the outer purpose, for example, is this NBC's. What did you want to become? Head presenter?
No, president.
President, straight away. So outer purpose is, for example, president. Inner value system is saying realism. This is what I heard in what you said. Now you'll have to align the two. When you align, you'll probably settle at being presenter. And when you align and inshallah become presenter, maybe then after you become that, you can aim to become president. So एक step by step journey होती है जहाँ पे outer and inner purpose के alignment के through impossible भी inshallah achieve हो सकता है, क्यों नहीं? But there has to be a step by step process to it. So in your own words, picking up exactly what you said, I picked president and realism. So somewhere realism is sitting inside you, somewhere on the outside, president is sitting out. So align the two, go work somewhere first, get that criteria where NBC would be interested in you, then become a presenter first, and then maybe work your way up to your next purpose of life, which would then inshallah be to be president. So just of course, we're taking an example over here, but similarly for anything and everyone else as well.
So I think what you said is that step-by-step process, is extremely important. That means that what you have in the now, in the present, should be perfected, should be, then like those small and easy achievable tasks, right? You do that, and then you sort of create a path for the next one and the next one and the next one. And enjoy the process. If you've pinned your dreams, let's say if I've pinned my dreams ke abhi to main bas aise hi guzara karungi until I become president of NBC, it may or may not happen.
Yeah, you'll have to live in the moment as well.
That realization, I think, is key, because aap apni sari cheezein jo haath mein hai wo ठुकरा रहे हैं.
Right.
And I think that does not set जो है the laws of the universe in motion.
Absolutely.
Right? In order for the end goal to happen, it's that, like you're saying, that step by step, that path, that enjoying the journey, that perfecting what you have right now, not taking things for granted, and then moving. And if you achieve that end result, wow. But if you don't, what a great life you've lived along the way.
Yeah, because you'll have continuously evolved, which takes me back to what I said earlier, that the higher purpose of life or the purpose of life somewhere will tie itself down to growth. What you learned and how you grew as a human being. Whether you believe in this religion or that religion, eventually jana upar hi hai. So in that higher purpose of being a good human being, even of a universe concept, even if someone is an atheist, eventually humanity is the religion, right? So you will be a good human being and you will have achieved a higher purpose.
I think it's also extremely important through all the contributions that are coming in, and what you are saying is fundamentally, it's so important to know yourself. What makes you tick, what your limitations are, what realism is, abilities, and then I think, like you're saying, even the step-by-step goals and everything. A lot of times we want to achieve that, being that president at the end of NBC. However, what we really don't realize that our purpose actually is a challenge. And that challenge changes every 2 years, 3 years. And then we move on to the next thing. So even achieving, let's say, that becoming president of NBC, that would just, for me, last 2-3 years, because then I would want to move on to my next challenge.
Yeah.
So it's not that end goal. It's the process of challenge that actually is my
purpose. Yeah, in a way, it's the journey which matters and not so much the destination.
How does one realize this? Is the key question.
Yeah, that it is that the joy is in the journey and not so much in the destination. I think one realizes that by, I'm trying to put it into perspective in my own life, is by self-awareness, as we said, regular check-ins with yourself, and most importantly, is by living in a state of gratitude. For me, gratitude helps me realize the importance of the moment, because what I have today, I prayed for a few years ago. So how do I realize that? When I'm in a state of gratitude. When am I in a state of gratitude? When I am praying. For some people, it's in praying, in prayers. For me, it's that. For you, it could be when you're journaling. For you, it could be when you are looking at your children. It could be when you're looking around your home and feeling, "Arey wah, main kahan pahunch gayi, maine kya sab." But living in a state of gratitude. Pausing long enough to notice where you are right now. Because where you are right now, many other people are praying to get to there. And you too have worked your backside off to get what you've got today.
It's such an amazing point. All right, so we have so much more coming up. I think we still need to explore this question about how does it feel to have a lack of purpose,
yes,
or if you have no purpose, and then of course there is this, real life happens. So if your purpose of life does not allow you to carry out your responsibilities, or vice versa, if your responsibilities come in the way of carrying out your life of purpose, then what do you do and how do you deal with that? There's so much more coming up. I want to give a shout out, and I want to show you all our lovely Radio Azad pens. There we go. So yes, and we'll tell you how you can get one as well. All right, just look for our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google and Amazon and iHeartRadio as well. And of course, you can find our shows, in case you've missed one, on Mixcloud as well. And we have our Double Shot Espresso Instagram channel. Show us some love. We have our Facebook group as well. And do comment and share the Facebook live feed. This is how you guys can help us, and our Radio Azad YouTube channel as well. We're everywhere. TikTok, look for us on TikTok. So much more coming up, and we're loving the participation. Many times, all of you in the first hour, you're all gung-ho, and then second hour, you guys just want to listen. But we want that participation in the second hour as well. So download the Radio Azad app and tune in to lots more coming up right here on Double Shot Espresso, Purpose of Life. Here we go.